Okay,
Rosie.
so today we're going to be working on Venn diagrams and two-way tables. So keep going through these after the classwork that you did yesterday. Okay, we're going to look after the classwork. It's the next one. Okay, so Venn diagrams and two-way table. Okay, it's called Venn diagrams and two-way tables. Do a little. Venn diagrams and two-way tables. Yes. Are you looking at the right? Okay, look at the right. That's not the right packet, sweetheart. Different packet. Okay, so Venn diagrams and two-way tables, okay? You need to know that a two-way table shows data from a sample group as it relates to two different categories, okay? The same information from the Venn diagram can be shown as a two-way table. Okay, it can be shown as a two-way table, where one category is represented by rows and the other category is represented by columns. So for example number 1, it says 8th grade students were asked whether or not they were in the band and whether or not they played a sport. Okay, is it possible that people could be just in the band?
Yeah. No.
Yes. Is it possible that they just played a sport? Yes. Is it possible that they did both? Yes. Okay. Or it's possible that they did nothing. Okay. Some people do nothing. So here, this shows 11 people were in the band. Okay. 11 people were just in the band. It also shows that 25 people played a sport. But it also shows that 12 people did both, so this is called the overlap, okay? And what do you think this 5 represents?
People that didn't.
People that did nothing, okay? These are the people that did nothing, okay? These are the people that, well, they might have, I don't know, been in something else. Okay, they might have been in choir, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is create a table using the two categories, from the Venn diagram, okay? We are going to use the values given to fill in the table. Okay, we're going to use the values given to fill in the table. So, first off, what are these things across here? Are these columns or rows?
Rows.
These are columns.
Oh, I told you. Jeez.
Okay, these are the columns. These are called the rows. Okay, the rows go side to side. Okay, so here, how many people are in the band and play a sport?
12.
How many people are in the band and play a sport?
12.
12. That's your 12.
11.
Okay, how many people play a sport and are not in the band?
25.
That would be your 25. So how many total people play a sport? 37. This is where you add these together. Okay, so 37.
48.
How many people are in the band and do not play a sport?
25. Oh, my bad.
In the band,
11.
but do not play a sport. That would be 11. Okay, so these are just figuring these out. Okay, and how many people are not in the band and do not play a sport?
5.
That's your 5. Okay, so we're just taking all the values here and filling them in. Okay, then, how many people total do
16.
not play a sport?
16.
Add them together, that would give you 16. Okay, now we're just going to add together your columns, or your rows as well. Okay, how many people are total in the band? That's 23. How many people total are not in the band?
30.
30. And how many total people are there in this diagram?
43.
53. Okay, the 53 you could get from totaling here or here. Okay, notice that 53 is the total from either way. Okay, total from either way. Questions on how I did that? Okay, let's try another one. Okay, for practice number 1, a survey of students who like hot dogs and students who like hamburgers. Okay, if I tell you that there are 27 people that like hot dogs who only like hot dogs. Excuse me. 27 people who only like hot dogs.
I like Jacob's Sartorius.
There are 15 people that only like hamburgers. 15 goes there. There are 33 people who like both. Where would that 33 go? In the overlap. And there are 18 people that do not like either. 18.
Jeez.
They apparently don't like food. Okay, 18 people.
Probably hippies.
So, let's fill in this two-way table. Okay? How many people like hamburgers and like hot dogs?
33.
33. Okay? How many people like hot dogs but do not like hamburgers? That's your 27. Okay, we'll fill in the totals in just a minute. How many like hamburgers but do not like hot dogs?
15.
15. And how many people do not like hot dogs and do not like hamburgers? That's 18. Then I want you to fill in your totals. Okay, so how many total people like hot dogs?
60.
That would be 60. How many total people do not like hot dogs? 33. How many total people like hamburgers? 48.
760.
And how many total people do not like hamburgers? 45. And how many total people are there in this survey? 93. Okay, and you can check the 93 by doing this total and the side total. Okay, so do the column total and the row total. Questions on how I did that? Okay, let's try another one. Practice number 2. Survey of students who listen to hip-hop music and students who listen to rock music. Okay, so it's entirely possible that you could do both. Okay, there are 10 people that do not listen to either. 10 people do not listen to either.
JV.
They'd be like me. Okay?
Christian music.
There are 37 people who listen to hip-hop music. Only 37. There are 40 people who only listen to rock music. 40. And there are 25 that listen to both hip-hop and rock.
Go home.
Okay, now let's try to fill in our two-way table. Okay, how many people listen to rock music and hip-hop music? 25. How many people listen to rock music and do not listen to hip-hop music? 40. How many people listen to hip-hop music and do not listen to rock music? 37.
83.
And how many people do not listen to either one?
17.
10. Devin, stop, please. How many total people listen to hip-hop music? 62? 62. 25 and 37 is 62.
Next one's 50.
Good job. Okay. Listen to hip-hop music. Do not listen to hip-hop music is 50. Listens to rock music, 65.
Oh.
And do not listen to rock music, 47. How many total people are in this survey? 112. Okay, are we getting the hang of this?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. These last two, I'm going to give you the numbers. You guys are going to tell me what the numbers are here, okay? So, survey of students who have sisters and students who have brothers, okay? So, there are, let's see, 50 people that have both sisters and brothers. 50 people who have both sisters and brothers. 50. There are 32 people that only have sisters. 32 people that only have sisters. There are 24 people that only have brothers. And there are 15 people that would be only children. So they do not have sisters or brothers. So 15 are the ones that are outside here.
They're the ones that are going to be successful.
Okay, I want you guys to fill in the table, please.
The table.
Fill in the table, please. Just fill in the table, please.
Ricky doesn't need to listen.
No one cares, David.
Whenever you have fun.
I'm not the answer.
No one cares.
Yay.
Blah 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 blah.
You have whiteout.
No.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you guys should be able to fill in the two-way table from here. Okay, so how many people have both sisters and brothers? 50 people. Okay, how many people have sisters but do not have brothers? 32. How many total people have sisters? 82.
Shoot. I don't know.
Okay, how many people have brothers but not sisters? 24. How many people do not have either? 15. How many total people do not have sisters? 39. Okay. How many total people have brothers? 74.
47.
Total here is 47. How many total people are represented by this table? 121. Okay, this time we're going to see if we can go backwards. Okay, I want to see if you can go from the table to the Venn diagram. Okay, from the two-way table to the Venn diagram. This time we're talking about a survey of students who like math and students who like history. Okay, 41 people like both. 41 people like math and history. 38 people like math but do not like history.
I just don't like my teacher.
38.
History.
14 people like history but do not like math. 22 people do not like either. From here, I want you to fill in the totals and the diagram. So fill in the totals and fill in the diagram. So there's a total of how many people that like math? Nope. Add these together. 79.
79.
Total of 36 people that do not like math.
30.
Total of 55 that like history. Total of 60 that do not like history. And a total of 115 in this entire survey. So here, how many people like both history and math? This is 41. How many people like history but not math? 14. How many people like math? 38. And how many people don't like anything? 22. Stop, guys. Okay, so this is Venn diagrams and two-way tables, okay? You're not exactly done. I want you to flip this over. Now we're going to look at constructing two-way tables from situations, okay? There's only two. Stop. There's only two examples here. For example number 1, it says a survey of students and the electronic devices they own. 8th grade students were surveyed on the electronic devices that they own. It was found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own an iPad. There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but own an iPad. There are 9 students who do not own either device. Sorry. First thing you want to do is create a table. Create a table using the two categories from the situation. Use the values given to fill in the table. Okay, so here, what are our two different variables here? What are we talking about? Students that own what? Cell phones and iPads. Okay, so here, this is own cell phones. This one would be no cell phone. What's this last one always? Total. Okay, what's my other variable? Own an iPod. And then what's the other one? They either do own an iPod or no iPod. And then your last part here is total. Okay? Now let's fill in what we know. Okay, so here, we know that, let's see, it was found that 78 students own a cell phone. Okay? Is that the total? What is the 78? Where does that go? 78 students own a cell phone.
There you go. You wait.
That's actually your total of students. Okay, that's total of students. Okay, so 78 students own an iPod, or own a cell phone, excuse me. 57 of those students also own an iPod. So where does the 57 go? 57 own an iPod. So that would be 57 own both. Okay, that's 57 here. You also know that there are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but do own an iPod. So where would the 13 go? No cell phone and have an iPod. So this is your 13. Okay? There are 9 students that do not own either one. So 9 students are no iPod and no cell phone. Now you can fill in the remaining parts here. Okay? This one, if there's a total of 78 and there's 57 of them that own a cell phone or that own an iPod, how do you find the difference here? The difference you subtract. So 78 minus 57 gives you what?
21.
21. Okay. How many total people do not own a cell phone?
22.
22. You can add together for your totals. So 57 and 13 gives you what? 70. No iPod is 30. And how many total people are in this survey? 100. Okay. Now, relative frequency. Okay, data can also be displayed as percents in a two-way table. Okay, percents in a two-way frequency table. The relative frequency for a given category is found by dividing, so you are going to need to use a calculator, dividing the frequency for that category by the total of the frequencies for that category. A two-way table can show relative frequency for rows or for columns. Okay, remember, these are columns, these are rows. Okay, rows go side to side, columns are up and down. Okay, so here, if we want to figure out, find the relative frequency of, so here, to figure this out, students that own a cell phone, excuse me, and own an iPod, what you have to do is you take that number and divide by the total for that row. So this would be 57, okay? So what you have to do is you take 57 divided by 78, and that will equal, if you use a calculator, 57 divided by 78, excuse me, 57 divided by 78 gives you 0.7307. So what is that as a percent? 0.7307. 73%. Okay, so here, students that own a cell phone and own an iPod is 73%. Students that do not own an iPod and do not own a cell phone. How many people do not own an iPod or a cell phone? 9. Okay, so 9, and what are you dividing by?
You said like 8.
Which one do you divide by? The way that we do this is you always do this part, okay? Do not own an iPod and do not own a cell phone, okay? You're dividing by the total number that do not own a cell phone. Okay, so how many total do not own a cell phone?
13.
I'm sorry, I said that backwards. It's always the total divided by the first one. Okay, so the first one is how many people, excuse me, how many people do not own an iPod? How many people do not own an iPod? How many total? 30. So this is going to be 9 divided by 30. Okay? Guys, stop. Listen. Okay. Do not own. So what is that as a decimal? Or as a percent? Sorry.
30.
30%. Okay? This is 30%. Okay? So you're always doing, pick out the column that you need, or pick out the value that you need divided by the first one. Okay, so this one, the total divided by the ones that owned a cell phone, that's why we divided by 78. Okay, that's why we divided by 78. We're going to do one more of these, and it'll hopefully be a little bit easier. Okay? This is the last one for today, I promise. It says the 8th grade class went to the town water park. Out of the 65 students who went to the park, 17 rode the Surf Rider. There were a total of 46 students who went down the water slides, and 16 of those who also rode the Surf Rider. Okay, so here, first thing you want to do is create a what? Create a table. Use the values given to fill in the table. Okay, so what are my two different values here that they're giving? Surf Rider, and what's another one? Water slides. Okay, so here, people that did ride the Surf Rider. So if some people did ride the Surf Rider, what's the other value here?
Who didn't?
No Surf Rider. Okay, stop. This is your total. Okay, what's the other thing that they're talking about?
Water slides.
Water slides. And the second one? No water slide. And your total. Okay, so here, it says the 8th grade class went to the town water park. Out of the 65 students who went to the park, so where's the 65 going to go? Total. So this is your 65. Okay. 17 rode the Surf Rider. Does that tell you if they rode the water slides though? Doesn't tell you. There were a total of 46 students who went down the water slides. So total who went down the water slides was what? 46. Okay. 16 of those also rode the Surf Rider. So where does the 16 go?
In the water slide and Surf Rider.
On both. Okay, so 16. Now, can we find the rest of these?
Wait.
I think we can. How many people should go here? If the total is 46, this is going to be 30. Okay, so 30 goes here. How many total people did not ride the water slides?
0 T.
65 minus 46 gives you what?
9.
19. Am I missing something? What other information did they give us?
Missing the hairline.
17 rode the Surf Rider. Okay, so out of the 65 students who went to the park, 17 rode the Surf Rider. So where should 17 go? For the total that rode the Surf Rider. Okay, this is 17. Therefore, how many people rode the Surf Rider but did not ride the water slides? 17 minus 16 is 1. Now, can you find out the rest of these? 19 minus 1 gives you what? 18. And then your total people that did not ride the Surf Rider? 48. Okay? Then, if we want to find the relative frequencies, okay, relative frequencies, students that rode the Surf Rider and went down the water slides. So how many people rode the Surf Rider and went down the water slides? 16. Okay, and you're going to do 16 divided by the first one. The first one is how many total people rode the Surf Rider? How many total people rode the Surf Rider? 17. So 16 over 17, if you do that as a fraction, 16 divided by 17 gives you this 0.94, can you see that? 0.941, so what is that as a percentage? 94%, and I'm okay with just rounding. Okay, so 94%. Students who did not ride the Surf Rider and did not go down the water slides. Did not. Should be what? 18 divided by the first one. How many students did not ride the Surf Rider?
30.
How many students did not ride the Surf Rider?
30.
No Surf Rider? 48. total. We're looking at the totals. So 18 over 48. Okay, if you do that on a calculator, 18 divided by 48 gives you, how would I write that as a 38%? Okay, so 38%. Students that went down the water slides and did not ride the Surf Rider. Went down the water slides, did not ride the Surf Rider is 30. What are we dividing by?
48.
Students that went down the water slides is total of, how many people went down the water slides? 46. Okay, so 30 divided by 46. 30 divided by 46 gives you 65%. Okay, and then finally, students that did not go down the water slides and did ride the Surf Rider. So, did not go down the water slides and did ride the Surf Rider, that's how many? 1 out of, how many students did not go down the water slides total?
19.
No water slides, total of 19. So 1 divided by 19 gives you, what is that as a percentage? Nope. 0.05. Remember, 5%. Okay, that's how we're writing this. Okay, you guys do have homework tonight or this weekend, okay? You're going to be working on page 693. You're doing numbers 1 through 4 and 9 through 11. Page 693, numbers 1 through 4 and 9 through 11.